Hello everyone, I am Dimitrik and welcome to today's episode of Fryderykraft. If you watched a previous episode, you know that we did some lovely decorating for Halloween throughout our city, but we also built this glorious building behind me. Now, I do not think I've mentioned this before because I do admit it is rather silly, but this building behind me is called the Cathedral of Matric Patrick, which is not to be confused with its rival church, the Church of Matthew Pathew, on the other side of the city. This building is one of my new favorite additions to the city because it is very large and has this massive tower which you can see from many parts of the city, even ones that are far off from here. And those of you who are new here, I will show you the rival church if we come up this tower. And if we come up here, we see that it is right over there, and we will actually be going towards that area because that is where I would like to be doing stuff in this episode. On my way from traversing between the two areas of my city, I have discovered this little corner right here where you can view both churches from the same spot. I'm pretty sure that has not ended in any disputes throughout any of the city's history, but moving on. And now we pass by the Church of Matthew Pathew as we enter the Jelly Gardens over here, which have been decorated for Halloween. As you can see, we have some cobwebs and zombies and grave markers, as well as the Dismal Tiller, not to be confused with the Grim Reaper for copyright purposes. But moving on, we will go back to over here, which in the last episode and the episode from around a year ago, I have referred to this building as the Halloween house. Now, it does look very festive and Halloweeny, but if we take a step inside, we can see that it's very boring and not very interesting. Now, we can't have such a boring, bare building holding a name of such prestige, so unfortunately, despite its beautiful look on the exterior, we will be demolishing this building behind me. Only joking, we will just be doing the interior of this Jacobean Victorian Renaissance Revival mansion, so I'll just be closing up this door right here, and then opening it back up again. We have the interior to our lovely mansion where we are first greeted with this lovely red carpet on the floor here. You can see nice view of our gardens out there with the Church of Matthew Pathew. So first we go into here where we have this room where we have this table for dining where the guests can eat their supper on this table with no legs. Well, you didn't see that, except you did because I showed you. Over here we have this empty room with nothing in it, and over here we have the site of our future staircase to go into the house's cellar, which I did not build. Over here we have a library with some books, which if you're watching this video you might read some books, but I'm not too sure about that. Up here we have this lovely green hallway up here. I think it looks very nice. Now this looks more like a Christmas house with the red and green. But going into here, we have this bedroom. Don't worry though, because I still have my signature purple bed. This is only a replica. This room, we have a staircase that takes us up to this attic that I didn't do. Then finally, we have this storage room with all our Halloween decorations stored up for next year, saving up some space in our gate. So I think this turned out very nice. Oh, also, we go back up here. This is a very nice mansion because you get a lovely view of the City Hall's spire from up here. Also a view of the sun, but this will probably be covered up by a building sometime soon. And there is our mansion complete, or at least mostly complete, and I think that it is very nice. But what is not very nice is the surrounding area, as it is mostly empty pits next to this house, and I would not like having that as the view out my window. So in this episode, I plan to fill in this area right here. I hope to be able to get all of it done, but I will try to get as much done as possible. So right now, I have two buildings planned out. One right here, which goes along the ocean and wraps around this corner, ending around right here. This one will have a shop on the bottom floor, similar to a couple of the other buildings on the street. Both buildings will be made out of dirt and have probably 3 more tiers above this one, not including the roof. And then over here will just be another one of these mansions where probably a merchant and his family and his servants and his cooks and his gardeners and his mistresses and his male mistresses live. And will also be made out of dirt. We'll have some nice white diorite coins on both sides, and will probably be around the same height as this building with the same amount of floors. So I will get to building and come back when these have been done. A little bit of construction has gone on, and now we can say hello to our new neighbors. So coming outside, we are greeted with this nice tall round building. I say tall as it is taller than the rest of them, but it's not that tall in the grand scheme of things. But here we have this nice tall brown building where I have used iron trapdoors to make some window frames. Down here you don't really get too much of the effect, but if I were to fly out, you see that it sort of creates this little illusion that there are these white window frames surrounding each of the windows. I think it turned out very nicely. And here's the entrance for those who live upstairs in the upper floors, and here is the door to the shop. And we have a nice shop along the ocean, so if you ever are on a stroll and decide, ooh, I want what's being sold in here, you can walk in and take all the goods you'd like. Now, our next building, if we go along this way, is a house that we built right here, also out of dirt, and we use the iron trapdoors here. If you're wondering how we do this, we just activate the trapdoors with redstone and then push the trapdoors with a piston while they are still activated, and that will keep them in their activated position. But nowadays you can usually just use pale, is that what it's called, the pale wood, pale oak, something like that, the pale wood, to have some white trapdoors, as this is a little bit tedious and will take a while. And here we have our nice house. On the upper floors we have some birch used to accent our windows, and I think it turned out very nice. And we have this nice basement layer with nothing inside because I don't feel like building that. And on the other side of the bay over here, we can see all our buildings that we have. And on the other side of the bay over here, we can see all the buildings we have against the water. And a year ago, the buildings over here didn't even exist, so the area along the promenade has gotten a long way since a year ago, and eventually I will build those trees again over here so we have some more shade. And while we are over here on this part of the city, I would like to move on to the next bit of the episode in between building sections in the area behind me. So what I would like to do is, over here, I would like to build a nice tower. Now, in the last episode, we built the church over there with the massive tower up there and had a very nice view of the city. So I decided that I wanted to have more areas where you can get nice vantage points and view our urban area. So what I would like to do is build another medieval tower around right here, and it will probably be it will definitely be shorter than the tower over there, but maybe around the height of up there. And I think I will be using dirt and diorite. I might change it up, but that should be what the building will be made out of, and we'll have a nice tower where we can view a panorama of our city. And now we have our tower built, and as you can see, it's sort of become a little homeless encampment at the moment. Right after construction has been completed, it's already been overrun. But if we take a look outside, we have this nice Gothic dirt tower with these beautiful white stone coins on both sides. As you can see, our homeless person has been evicted and is finally leaving. Going up. Oh, by the way, this on the other side is a clock, but I will show you that once I am done touring. Up here, we get a nice view of the promenade on the other side with our one tall building in the whole city.
I'm not homeless!
Over here, you can see...
This looks nice.
Thank you. It does look very nice. Here we have our clock pointed to 3 o'clock. I think this is the first clock in the city that actually points to 3 o'clock. Quiz time. What time does Erect City Hall's clock point to? You have to stay here.
Not tabbing out right now.
Go on.
Noon.
Wrong, it's 9. I was wrong, it is 9:45.
You're gonna edit this out, right?
The moan? Yeah. But the quiz where you were, like, wrong, that's staying in. Alright, quiz number 2. What time is the post office clock set to?
I didn't memorize the clocks.
That's kind of too bad.
Oh, the post office, excuse me. That's gotta be 8 o'clock for sure.
No, that one's noon.
Really? That was my first guess. That was like my first guess.
Yeah, but if you're taking a test and you guess C when the answer's A, but the next question C, you don't get that question right.
No. Ignoring when I answered about the city hall clock, you asked me what time is the clock on the post office, and my first guess was noon, and my second guess was 8 o'clock, and I went with my second guess first.
Still incorrect, but I was right about this one.
Oh, yeah, it is noon.
There's actually 2 clocks on this street that most people will probably never get to see because it's too narrow. Like, everyone knows about this clock on the gate into the grind, but there's actually a clock on this building over here too. Did you know there was a clock on this building? It actually doesn't have a time at all.
It's just there.
Yeah, did you know about that clock?
Oh, there is a clock. Okay.
You didn't know there was a clock? Come on.
No, you hide a lot of stuff.
This building was built in 2022 and you didn't know?
I've roof tagged on this building before. See, normally at this time I'd be mining mithril on a Hypixel Skyblock for my commissions, but like that's not as important as mining sandstone.
Get to mining sand, boy. Anyways, as I was saying, here is the tower behind me, and the story behind this tower is this is the Belfry of Edwardsford. Edwardsford being this neighborhood over here, separate from the island of Glessing over there, as well as that neighborhood over there, which is called Transrensia, as it is across the Wren's Bridge, named after Sir Christopher Wren, glorious English architect. But this is the Belfry of Edwardsford behind me, and historically, This was the curfew bell for all the workers to go back into their homes as before. That was dictated by the church over there, the Church of Matric Patrick in Glessing, but then the Edwardsforders, or Edwardsfordians, the Edwardsfordians built this belfry so that they had to say over their own time, and now it is a historical landmark, a medieval landmark in the heart of the city, near the water. A nice defining piece of erect culture, and that is enough time for this section of the video. It is time for us to go back over here. So, remember how we built this building and that building and how the area around the mansion was a bit bare and plain? Well, right now we will be finishing that up. So we will be building 2 more buildings, one right here and one right here. Now, I plan for both of these buildings to be made out of brick. This one will be a simpler building that is rather tall for this area, not nearly as tall as that building, but maybe around as tall as this one. It will have lots of apartments for people to live in, and over here will be another mansion, as this is sort of the area where they are. So this one will also be made out of bricks, and I also plan for it to have some sandstone and stripped birch accents and an oriel window sticking out, similar to how we have on this building right here. And this probably isn't a very good explanation, so I might as well just get it built. We are back after construction has concluded, and we can see both of our buildings that we have built. This one over here on the left, I actually really like how it turned out. We have nice window that sticks out a little bit, and I used a little trick with the walls here, where I put walls on both sides of a full glass block to give the illusion of there being another window there. I've used it on another building on the other side of the city, and I do think it is a very nice trick. And I've used fences to add some details to the corners, and we have this lovely gable at the top. Over on this side, we have this very tall apartment. Well, very tall for this area at least. Pretty soon, it will be eclipsed by this entire area of the city that is yet to be built. And I have some slabs with a full block behind that to give the illusion of there being a frame around the window. And of course, we have the iron trapdoors, which you push with a piston, and I think it turned out very well. We can come onto the street and have a nice, lovely autumn stroll. This doesn't really look like autumn since the leaves don't really change. Mayhap we are at the equator. Actually, we are, because we are very close to the latitude 0, but we do have some very nice buildings on our little street that's right in front of the park. Eventually, this will be a lovely nature area. Actually, it kind of already is, but this will be a much more organized park with some custom trees and pathways, and maybe even a greenhouse of some sort. I actually have no idea, and I have no plans yet. We also have some lovely little basements, and I think these buildings are a lovely way to complete this area of the city. And as night falls, this place really comes alive with our mansions, with our spooky decorations for Halloween, right by our cemetery over here with our plastic gravestones. But we have done a lot of progress in this video, walking past our candlelit alleyways and our lovely witch selling candy, and going through the streets lit up by the scary lights. We pass by our lovely heads on pikes, reminding us to pay our taxes. Then continuing on through the Executioner's Square, we can finally see our Belfry, which really actually isn't that tall, but I do really like it, and maybe one day I will implement a bell system with a daylight sensor so that it rings every night. And going up, we get a lovely view of our city while it is in its Halloween decorations. And with that, it's time to end our episode. And to close off our episode, we have done some amazing work in this lovely city of ours. New estates for the top 1% have been erected, as well as a new landmark, the Belfry, a towering site in the heart of Edwardsford, where the town meets the sea. As time progresses, you may hear its tolls echoing in the distance, a reminder of the centuries-long history of the city. And now, I thank you for your viewership if you have made it this far, and be sure to join me in on the next installment, whenever it may release, and